Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the One Road New England Geoguessr week leading up to the launch of the One Road New England blog. Today, we're going to be going into Vermont. This is a state that I've been to many times, but I've not been to yet for One Road. Definitely will be getting a few Vermont roads here over the summer. Definitely going to be exploring a little bit more of one of personally my favorite states in New England. So this will be pretty cool here, I think, just to get a good vibe of what Vermont is like. But one big thing that is going to be a big challenge here is that Vermont looks very similar. You see Maine, which is a huge state, which has a lot of differing landscapes, and even New Hampshire, where you can kind of split the state into 3 or 4 kind of sections of where you want to guess. But Vermont looks very, very similar. Outside of the region around Burlington, where you have Lake Champlain and some of the like very specific spots in the White Mountains, you're going to get a lot of hilliness, a lot of sort of rural farm country, and just a lot of woods. We're probably going to be seeing quite a few woods rounds today, but with that, let's get started and let's go right back to default settings. Get started with a quick, simple moving game. All right, so we're beginning here. Like I said, we're going to have this woodsiness. We're going to have these hills over to our west here. That looks pretty promising, though. We're going to be on Stevens Road. We've got some huge mountains just north of us here, which makes me think that we're going to be probably somewhere up north. Maybe not quite Montpelier, but maybe around the Groton area, maybe just in the National Forest kind of area here. So let's take a look around. Let's see if we can get a town name for where we are. Support your local support staff. Good message, but not quite the town name we're looking for. We've got a interesting little mannequin there. But we're back on a 50-mile-an-hour road. This could be a pretty major route. Could be. It's vaguely reminding me of this Route 100, which is a road that I drove last summer, before any of the one road roads came up, before I started doing a lot of photography. But a very beautiful road, and definitely a very unique one in comparison to many others in Vermont. Looks like, ooh, I'm gonna look at this realty sign, and if we get a vibe from that, that could be all we need. Looks like not too much, just a commercial property. I'm gonna go back to the beginning here. Actually, hold on. We're getting to a 25-mile-an-hour zone, which means that we could be going into a town of some sort. So let's keep following this. Garden Street. Really got nothing here. I'm gonna have to just guess around sort of the Warren Stockbridge area maybe, and looks like we were actually down here in Proctor, right on Vermont 3. So that was actually a lot closer to Route 7 than it was to Route 100, but right in that area. Knew we were in this region with the mountain. 959, not the worst score we've gotten, but here looks like we're gonna have another pretty tough one here. We got Tire House. That's not going to give us a town name, though. This could be a little bit more of a major road, though. Willow Drive. We've got speed limit 40. We've got some antiques, but I can't quite tell what town that's in. I don't think that's the name of a town. We do have G-Stone Motors. That's also not going to tell us much, but we do have some really beautiful foliage. Grapevine Grill. Again, not too much to see in terms of really good information here. Oh, actually, there was a little tourism sign that I want to take a quick look at right over here. Otter Creek. That looks just to be a resort, not that helpful. Danforth Pewter, Vermont Sun Fitness. Actually, this could be in Middlebury. That might be where I'm going to guess here. We do have a Marriott. We are looking pretty strongly urban. Actually, I'm not even going to go with Middlebury here, I think it would be even better to just go with Middlebury. I'm going to stick with my original guess. That is definitely what we're looking for here. So we are on Route 7, a road that I've driven on multiple occasions, but not for one road, and this is honestly on my list of plans. Route 7, very beautiful road that goes right along the western side of New England. But let's see if we can line up exactly where we are here. So we started at this O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Let's see if we can find it. We're going to be down here. G-Stone Commercial, Tractor Supply. And we were actually right there. There we go. I'll take a 4900 on that. Moving on here, we've got another pretty rural road, but I doubt that this one's going to have a quick connection over to a major road here. So this one might take a little bit. We're going to have the speed running strats of just moving a bit fast here. Let's see what that has to say, because it looks like we're on a closed road, Southeast State Correctional Facility. So if we've got a jail, that could actually be somewhere that we can very easily search for on the map once we're trying to pinpoint it, but I want to get a good vibe for the region first. Looks like we're going west, and we do we have a huge amount of mountains? Not really. We've got, now it's just a real estate sign that again does not give where we are. Hill. Alright, I'm going to start just looking around here. I think, since we're going to be around here, we've got these mountains. We're going to be somewhere in this kind of region. It's just, where is that jail going to be? Could be down pretty far south here. Let's go back to the beginning and try and angle ourselves this way. See if we can find another answer to where we might be. There's that correctional facility again. I actually went in the same direction I went the first time. Alright, no guess down just yet, so we're safe to take our finger off the button here. I think Manchester looks pretty good. Could be north though, could be a lot north. It's going to be somewhere on this western side of the state though, I think. We're actually a little bit east of those mountains, right on 91 in fact. Looks like if we just kept going to the east a little bit, we would have crossed 91 there, which would have been a big hint, but that's okay. Still got the southern part of the state. Not too bad. Vermont again. Very tough one to do. What do we got here now? Looks like we're on a dirt road. We've got some pretty rural areas, but we are coming up to a main road here, which is nice. Blueberry House. This looks to be in the northern part of the state, if I'm not mistaken. We've got Keene, Vermont, which I actually believe is going to be somewhere in the northern part of the state. I'm almost certain that says Keene, but that could also say Keene, New Hampshire, because that is a much larger town than the one in Vermont. I believe there's one in Vermont. I might be completely wrong on that. I'll look it up at the end of this to see, just in case, but looks like we got nothing huge on the bins. We do have a pretty prominent barn here. Not a huge historic place though, unfortunately. Sometimes if you see a big barn building like that, they can be a historic building, especially up here in New England, in northern New England especially. Oh, Guilford! We are in the town of Guilford, so where could that be? Granbury Guild Hall? Croton? I think we're gonna have to be looking... Oh wow, way south actually. So here is this. We've got volunteer fire department. It's right there actually, so looks good. Looks like we're still facing northeast, so that's gonna lead up to 5. Let's put a little pin down and let's go back to where we started. So if I'm not mistaken, I actually might just have to guess this here. So we're gonna be on Weatherhead Road, I believe. Or actually even better, this kind of small Guilford Center road here. And we were just the next one up, but still, 47, very nice. Alright, so up next here, looks like we've got, this is definitely in the valley region. Facing south, probably going to be on Route 7, if I'm not mistaken. Looks to be we're a lot closer to the mountains that we've got in the west than we are in the east. I really hope that I can get out of... There we go. That Gen 1 coverage is not quite where you want to be, especially on times like this, because you cannot read any signs you see. Oh, and we're going to have 7A, actually. So we're right with 7. 7A is a little bit up, if I'm not mistaken, right? Actually, my bad. It's south. It's down in the Bennington region. And we're going to start right here. Could be Shaftesbury. Could be any of these. Looks like we're going north, so we knew that. Since we have mountains really close, I think we're actually going to be a little bit north of Shaftesbury here. Really tall mountain right there. We've got a big turn. Let's angle this. We've got a kind of northwest facing road. Quite a few different places that could be. But I think that this Timber Trail Road looks nice. Let's see, actually, can we get a Road 9 name here? There we go. Fisher is what we're looking for. Can we find Fisher Road? Crow Hill, out back. Russell. Fisher Road, we are right there. I think that might be the 5K, in fact. Let's give it a look. There we go. That's a 5K. 16,000. Not the greatest we've gotten from moving. New Hampshire was a little bit better, but that's okay. Vermont being again a very hard state. Getting 3 really close guesses here, quite happy with that. We're gonna go 40 seconds, of course, if we can get it, and no moving, panning, or zooming. Let's give it a shot. This is gonna be a lot tougher to get anywhere, but hoping to get a little bit better than last time. So yeah, we're looking at a big dirt road here. We're facing west, but don't quite see any mountains, which means that we could be in this region kind of looking towards New York here. You can't see sort of Hoffman Notch and Dix Mountain Wilderness, Giant Mountain from most places here, so guessing that we could be somewhere in the Rutland region, facing west, actually a little closer to northwest, so that might make sense, but again, this is a big hedge. Looks like we were up here in Hardwick, actually. And could we see mountains behind us? Yes, we could. Had a lot of mountains to our east, but not to the west. Looks like we just had a really unfortunate view where you really couldn't see this ridge in Elmore here. On to the next one. Looks like we're back in Middlebury for the second time in this video. Very fun. So we're looking for Middlebury Mountaineer. I'm going to guess we're going to be somewhere in the center of town here. Middlebury Mountaineer. We've got something possibly Lucerne, that says. I'm not quite sure. Can I get the 5K on time here? That's the big issue, is that we're looking for a real specific spot, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get to it. I think we're going to be in this part. We are, and that was very close to the 9K, actually. Not quite, but 4992, I will take that. We were right by the Henry Sheldon Museum, and in fact, that is, in fact, a road I've driven. I went to a major arts festival here last summer, here in Cannon Park. Looks like we're back in another sort of city-like area here, and actually, I might go for a big guess here and think that it's Montpelier. That architecture looks fairly familiar to stuff I've seen in Montpelier, but in that mountain looks very fitting for this. The question is, where in Montpelier would we be if we are in Montpelier? I don't know if we're going to be quite at a school, but we could be at one of these colleges. New School of Montpelier, Vermont College. Let's see. Not entirely sure, but we are going to get close here, I hope, with Montpelier. We were actually way down in Brattleboro. Alright, we do have want to stick it. I'm sorry if I'm completely mispronouncing that. But wasn't quite getting the mountain vibes down here. But yeah, that does make sense. I think Montpelier's mountains do have a little bit more of a ridge to them. But that's okay. And now, this is a weird one. I'm gonna be honest, if I was looking at just a US map, I would not guess Vermont here. This kind of tall tree on the right side here is throwing me off a lot. This looks almost coastal, which makes me think that we could be down in this Brattleboro area again, right on the river, perhaps? But I'm not sure. Brattleboro is kind of city-like. This looks to be pretty wealthy-ish, I would guess. Facing due north, we could just be somewhere right around here. We were down in the south part of the state, but we were on the other side, down in Bennington here. Still, decent guess. I'm very happy we got sort of that right latitude there. Looks like we've got a northeast road, we've got a little pond here, we're on dirt. This is going to be a middle of nowhere road once again. Not quite sure where I want to go on this, but I'm kind of thinking north. It just feels a little more wintry almost, and I know that that has to do a lot with the coverage, but I don't know. Something about the vibes just make me think that it's going to be up in this region. Cambridge, Underhill, Jericho, Morristown, Stowe. Not Stowe. Definitely not Stowe. We were actually down a little bit south of Montpelier here in, I don't even know what town this is. South Northfield. That's a very fun name, Vermont. A very good name of a town, but South Northfield, there we go. And I'm really surprised we didn't get to see more mountains than we saw, because that kind of just looks like a small hill in the back there. Yeah, that line of trees there is really covering up a lot in terms of the Green Mountains. We got a little over a 6K. I'm okay with that. A still decent round. I was very happy with the almost 5K in Middlebury. But yeah, with that, that's the end of this episode. In the next episode, we will be moving down to Massachusetts, where we're going to have a lot more kind of urban areas in this eastern part, but again, being mixed with some more of that kind of rural, countryside, farmland, foresty bits in the Quabbin Reservoir area and western Mass around the Hamptons. So, gonna be pretty cool. Give it a check, and again, we are only 4 days from the release of One Road New England. So, get ready for that. I will be posting a lot about some different roads that I've driven around New England, and just giving you a view of a lot of these different places. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.